On September 4th, 1954, Santiago Flight 513 departed from Aachen, West Germany, heading for Porto Alegre, Brazil. It was a routine transatlantic flight. The aircraft, a Lockheed Super Constellation, carried 88 passengers and 4 crew members. Conditions were clear. The flight was smooth. Then, over the Atlantic, it vanished. No warning, no distress signal, no wreckage. Just disappeared. Search operations were launched across multiple countries. Planes scoured the ocean. Ships trawled suspected areas. But nothing was ever found. Not a seat cushion, not an oil slick, not even a floating scrap of metal. Santiago Airlines was devastated by the incident. After months of searching and no answers, the flight was declared lost at sea. The airline collapsed the following year, taking its secrets with it. Flight 513 faded into aviation lore. Another unexplained disappearance, filed away and forgotten by most. Until 1989. On October 12th, air traffic control in Porto Alegre picked up an incoming aircraft. It wasn't scheduled, it wasn't responding to radio calls, and something about its radar signature was wrong. The plane appeared to be a propeller aircraft, decades out of date. Not a jet, not military, not commercial. Controllers tried to divert it, no response. Instead, the aircraft circled the airport once and began to descend. With no communication, the airport prepared emergency crews. The mystery plane landed smoothly. Perfectly, in fact. Not a wobble, no malfunction. Then it taxied to a stop and just sat there. As fire crews and security surrounded it, they noticed something bizarre. The paint on the fuselage read Santiago Airlines. It was unmistakable. The plane's identification number matched the manifest for Flight 513, the one that disappeared 35 years earlier. Panic spread quickly, but what investigators found inside was far worse. All 88 passengers were still on board, still in their seats. But dead, skeletal remains, clothed in 1950s attire. No signs of trauma or violence, no signs of panic, just stillness. The crew was the same. The co-pilot, the flight engineer, the stewardess, all skeletal, and in the cockpit the captain himself, gripping the controls with both hands, like he never stopped flying. But somehow the plane had landed. The engines were still warm. Instruments were still active. The clock in the cockpit showed 18 hours of flight time, the exact length from Aachen to Porto Alegre. The fuel tanks, still half full. The plane hadn't aged, but everyone inside had died. Authorities were dumbfounded. The Brazilian military took over the investigation within hours. The plane was moved to a secure hangar. Reporters were blocked. The government issued no public statement. No photos were officially released. And then, nothing. The story should have ended there, but it didn't. Whispers spread among airport staff. One technician claimed the plane's black box only recorded takeoff, then silence. Another said they found modern electronic components spliced into the aircraft, devices that didn't exist in 1954. Then there's the mystery of the logbook. The captain's entry stopped just minutes after takeoff in 1954. But the final page? It was blank, except for one cryptic note scrawled in the margin. They said not to turn around. No one knows who wrote it, or what it meant. What followed was a cascade of silence. Several ground crew members who leaked information were reportedly fired, relocated, or vanished entirely. Even the maintenance team brought in to examine the plane was replaced with military personnel. And yet, the questions remained. How did a plane disappear for 35 years, only to reappear as if nothing had happened? Some believe Flight 513 entered a time slip, a phenomenon where space and time distort. Others say it's evidence of a secret experiment in teleportation or time travel, possibly linked to the rumored Philadelphia experiment. But the darkest theory? That the passengers didn't die during the flight, but afterward. That something or someone kept the plane suspended in time and then released it, as a test, as a message, or as a mistake. One former Santiago engineer, speaking anonymously, claimed the plane had been part of a quiet research project in the early 50s involving electromagnetic propulsion. "We were trying to bend the rules of time," he said. "Maybe we bent them too far." Was Flight 513 the result of science gone wrong? A classified experiment abandoned and forgotten, until it returned? Or was it something else entirely? To this day, no government has confirmed the landing of Santiago Flight 513. The plane itself? Disappeared. Again, no records, no reports. It's as if it landed and was erased, but the legend endures. Because if a plane can vanish and return 35 years later, fully intact, who's to say it was ever really gone? And who, or what, brought it back? The mystery of Flight 513 is not just about a missing aircraft. It's about time, space, and the terrifying possibility that we don't understand either. Because what disappeared in 1954 may not have stayed gone, and what came back may not have been entirely human. Follow Forbidden Chronicles to make sure you don't miss the next time reality takes a wrong turn. Because not everything that vanishes stays gone.